Welcome to the Central Prairie Co-op podcast, your go-to source for all things agriculture. Each week, we bring you expert insights, market trends, and real stories from the field. Whether you're a seasoned producer or joining us for the first time, there is something here for you. So, grab a coffee and let's dive into the business of agriculture from the ground up. Welcome to the Central Prairie Co-op podcast. Thank you for joining us today. I will be your host, Mandy Lyons, and with us today is Mike Corbus, our CEO. And Mike, you have some updates for us.
I sure do. I've got a list actually here. So I know we did this a while back. We intend to continue to do this as things change. And we did send out a patron letter with the statements last month, and some of the things we covered was the sale of the Saxman and Whiteside elevators, how we've used the Pollard elevator and may continue to use it in the future. I did mention the addition of a ground pile at Frederick. I think today I can provide a little more information as well. And also talked about our Little River elevator and the partnership there with Pure Field Ingredients. And then finally, I mentioned on that last letter the partnership with the national sorghum producers.
Why don't we start with an update on the Alden Rail Project?
Right. So that was a grant. For those of you who were not aware, it was a nice chance for us to add some rail capability, because before this we had none whatsoever. And the grant paid 70% of the cost, so it was an easy decision for us. It gives us access, utilizing up to 18 cars, so it's not a huge rail project, but it is what I would consider right scale for us as a co-op. It fits our size, but our intention there is to participate in what's called a wheat singles market. So unlike the large-scale unit trains that we're used to seeing today with the terminals, there's a viable market to ship single cars or maybe 4 or 5 cars at a time to a domestic end users, flour mills, for example. But also, this gives us access to the soybean market. There's most of you probably know there's a new facility down in southeast Kansas, a very large one, and we now have a route down there directly, and potentially maybe move some milo into an export market whenever that exists as well. So we are almost complete with that rail project. I think there's a little bit of housekeeping electrical to do there, and then it's good to go.
That's great. That's great. You did talk about the Frederick ground pile last month,
Right.
But we've made more progress on that project.
A lot more. Yeah. That's one of those projects that for probably 50% of the time it just looks like dirt. And that's a lot of dirt work goes into that. But we knew a long time ago we could see a couple of things happening. Number one, obviously it appears we're going to have quite the crop this year for all 3 grains that we normally take. It looks like that's fixing to be a storm, if you want to call it that way, and good, and poses some challenges as well. So we knew that, and also the ongoing issue that we've experienced is there is a lack of storage, especially with years like this. But the problem that we've experienced is, we would have to, I'll just say it, fire sale grain, and oftentimes sell grain at less than we paid for it just to make room for fall crop, and that is absolutely not sustainable. It's not something we can continue to do. And we also have not had the ability to participate in a carry market when that's available. So this ground pile provides a couple of opportunities. One is to remedy what I just mentioned, but also the biggest thing is we wanted to provide more speed for the producers. And there's the options out there to do that. Most of them are multi-million dollar projects, very large. And if you do an ROI on those, you're talking past 30 years, maybe 40 years to even pay off. So this really solves all those issues for it. It doesn't completely solve the overall issue, but it's a pretty big step for us. And this is the first wholly owned and operated ground pile that Central Prairie has ever utilized. So what you'll see out there today, and as we record this, we just received some more rain, so besides the puddles, there's, yeah, it is a 1 million bushel pile, We will be putting Milo on there this year. It has a speedy conveyor belt, that's a Lamar belt, and that's going to move grain about twice as fast as the present elevator there allows, so that'll be nice. Steel retaining walls, there's aeration, drainage, containment ponds. There will be a gravel and asphalt mixed driveway, and of course, once it's complete, a tarp. We also, another thing that we're doing, and it's close to being completed here, is we've installed a probe. So for those who have not delivered to that location, that was still a hand probe operation. And a lot of problems with that, obviously. So we're fixing that. Very excited for this, actually. I don't know what we're going to see. It looks like we're going to see a lot of grain. Things can always change, but with all of this, I will also say, talking to other co-ops and other entities and producers, I'm not going to be shocked to see a lot of places fill up, and we may actually experience people bringing grain our way from other directions too, because I don't think the system is prepared for what we may have coming. So we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. Very interesting.
So one of my personal favorites on your updates are paperless statements.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, sure. So, we are always looking to improve our processes, automate what we can, and make it just a lot more efficient. So one of the challenges we've had over, quite a while really with the statements that we issue today is the mail delivery service isn't as reliable as we'd like it to be in some areas, and that has caused some problems for many of our patrons. They won't get their bill in time, or maybe it doesn't show up at all. Can cause some credit issues and things like that. We would like to try to rectify that as best as possible, so we will be moving to a paperless statement. These will come out via email. Now, keep in mind the patron access will continue to have all of your billing information as well. And there will be some interesting changes. For example, if we do a patron letter, it wouldn't come to you obviously as a letter, but it will come as a separate email. Then you can view it that way. So we are asking some help with this. If you wouldn't mind, folks out there, send us your preferred up-to-date email address, and you can send that to patron@cpcoop.us. So that's PATRON at cpcoop.us. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to call the main office. That's 620-278-2141. And we can answer questions or help you walk through that.
Yeah. So another exciting project we have going on is a big project at Nickerson. Right.
So that's actually completed, and we did utilize it for wheat. And of course, we're obviously going to utilize it here very soon again. The only real update there was, I can say that it was a successful upgrade. We've been very happy with it. It certainly increased the speed. As a reminder, or those who maybe weren't familiar with this project, it basically doubled the leg speed there and included a larger pit. So both of those much improved the unload time for producers. But also, all these elevators we have, most of them have some unique aspects to them. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I'm trying to make that sound decent, but the way you move grain in them sometimes causes issues with the amount of grain that we take today. So there were some of those at Nickerson in the past. We'd have to move things 2 to 3 times to get them in a certain position to allow for unloading. So we were also able to remedy that with some of the internal workings, so it's a lot more efficient. And then finally there, we also did centralize some of the controls, and that is really a first step to potentially automating in the future.
I love that.
Yes. We were able, some of us had toured some automated facilities here about a year ago. And what was interesting is sometimes once you get to the point we're at with Nickerson, the actual automation isn't as expensive as you might think. It's all the things you do beforehand to prepare for it. So should we want to do that in the future, we're close to being ready there. We have RFID cards there, and The only thing that I would say was a little bit of a hiccup there is that the second scale that we've utilized, it's the outbound scale, there was a bit of a software issue, and I believe we have that fully rectified now, so we should be good to go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Something else that we've been doing a little differently this year is seed cleaning.
Yes. So, not at Nickerson. That stays the same. But we had run into a situation up along K4. We were doing it at Claflin and Geneseo, and frankly, some of the equipment was getting quite worn out. Couldn't necessarily get replacement parts. And then the gentleman that ran that for us at Claflin had retired essentially. So last year he came out for part of that time, but it just got to be to where it was not working well, and we wanted to make sure we didn't have, or at least eliminate as much as possible, any chance of breakdown. So we elected to bring a third party in and centralize that cleaning. So it's at Bushton. We're about halfway through. That has gone exceptionally well. Actually, the reports I've had, we've hit the mark. So we're on track to clean, at the very least, match what our normal cleanings are. There were a lot of positive comments about the actual results, that the wheat looked even better and cleaner. So very happy to hear about that. And yeah, a few people had to drive a few more miles, but it was a way for us to offer what we think is a better service and at least be more reliable too.
We've had some really fun technology projects going on as well.
Yes, we have. And since that is really your purview, I don't think I want to comment on that. I want to leave that to you, Mandy. So
I would love
take
that.
it away.
I would love that.
Okay.
So we have just finished an employee alert system. This is basically a system where we can send a text message to all of our employees if there is emergency news, if there are weather closures, or anything else that is an urgent message to get out to employees. We are very excited to have that in place instead of the old calling tree model. We are also working on switching to a new managed services provider. That just basically means that they handle all of our technology. That's the kind of the short definition. So we are moving to Adams Brown for our managed services. This will save us money. We will have a person on site one day a week, and they're in closer proximity to us than our previous providers. So we are very excited to get going with them. And then probably the funnest thing is that we're replacing our phone systems. So we have replaced our phones in the southern half of the territory, and we are working on the northern half with Verizon 5G desk phones. And the beautiful thing about these phones is they are not on our network. So no one can hack our network through these IP phones. Or through like they would an IP phone, because they're really just a mobile desk phone. So much more secure. This is also going to save us money going to this new format. And so we're really excited to get going with that. And we started with the South yesterday, and really the phones just worked. I mean, there were a few little things, but we did not miss calls. And it just went really smoothly. We're just really pleased.
And can I just say, I want to say, I mean, this is a substantial upgrade for us. We've upgraded a lot of the systems, and we're saving a substantial amount of money, actually, by doing this. So which is kind of rare to upgrade and save money. I feel like this has been a great project, so thank you to you. Like you said, the phone systems so far have gone very smooth. And very, very good upgrade for us.
Yeah, it's so exciting. One more exciting thing we have happening. Many of you know that we have a rural market in Sterling, and we sell locally produced and curated goods out of that market. And we feel so strongly and are so proud of all the things we produce in Kansas that we are going to launch an e-commerce website about mid-September, so that other people can enjoy all the wonderful things that we produce in Kansas. If you haven't been in the rural market, you should definitely take a look. If you're not in close proximity, you will be able to browse our products very soon. So that's very exciting for us as well.
It is, and as a reminder to a lot of folks, that project really was begun for a couple of reasons. One was we needed to remodel over there, frankly. There was a lot of stock that just hadn't moved in a long time, and it needed cleaned up and refreshed, and a lot of people put a lot of work into that, a lot. We had people over there painting just because they wanted to help. It was nice to see, and to be able to showcase some of these local products and add something new. So again, everything that was there before is still there. We added and upgraded the building, but it was also, to be very frank, probably one of the best business training environments you could have, because the folks involved did everything, from finding vendors to understanding the licensing and all the procedures, and now we're moving on to an e-commerce market, which I think it was originally part of the plan. We just pushed it back due to other things. We've been a little busy, and a lot of things going on, and I will close by saying just a huge debt of gratitude to staff, because we have really done a lot, and means they have done a lot, and the stress comes with that, a lot of work, a lot of thinking, all these types of things, and everybody's handled it very well, and there's more to come.
Yes.
And so very proud of everybody.
Yes, I agree. Everyone's just been great.
And also I want to acknowledge as well that, we do understand the challenges our producers face every day. And so as we go through a lot of changes, and we are moving very rapidly, we're trying to, that's I think one of our strong points. We understand, again, that this can be stressful, and the decisions we've made and those we will make yet are guided with that understanding. We know that our producers are under a lot of stress, and again, so are staff with all of these changes, but we are committed to doing what's right for the future of Central Prairie Co-op, and our long-term goal is to always provide value, but to remain strong, viable, and then ready to serve you, but not just today. We want to do that for decades to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining the Central Prairie Co-op podcast, where we talk all things ag from the ground up.